Coming up, graduate students protest against current wages.
And things are getting crowded on the CAN bus.
Iowa icons to be immortalized forever.
Rainy and gloomy weather wraps up the first month of the new year.
All that and more.
Coming up right now on DITV.
Good morning from Iowa City. It is Friday, January 31st. I'm Jordan Tovar.
And I'm Grace Lathrop.
And the third member of our team, Nick Isles, is live outside to tell us today's weather story. Nick, are we going to keep needing our umbrellas?
Happy Friday, everyone. But yes, guys, it is a pretty wet start to start our day, so don't forget your rain jacket. I'm staying dry inside the Sky Bridge right now, where it is currently in the low 40s with slight rainfall. Expect temperatures to reach a high in the upper 40s with a mix of clouds and sun in the afternoon before it cools down later tonight. Tomorrow, cloudy skies will bring a high in the low 40s later in the afternoon. I'll be back later for an extended forecast of this week's weather. Back to you, Jordan and Grace.
Studies or COGS protested at the University of Iowa. DITV News Director Johnny Holtman was at the demonstration to learn what students are demanding.
COGS members and supporters met on the lawn of the Pendercrest Wednesday in solidarity over increasing COGS's pay.
I'm really frustrated by the university's unwillingness to pay its workers what we deserve.
The University of Iowa ranks second to last in worker pay for COGS members in the Big Ten. The group is looking for a 25% increase in pay over the next 2 years to help graduate students with their education.
The university should stop assuming that care and passion will be enough to get University of Iowa students educated. It's not enough. You have to pay people.
And the COGS members are now walking towards Jessup Hall to go talk to UI President Barbara Wilson about their wages. In the halls of Jessup Hall, chants continue to ring.
When do we want it? Now!
And letters were written to the university president.
Please tell the Board of Regents to give us a raise that is above the legal minimum.
Members feel the university is being cheap, leading to some having to take on 2 jobs and struggle to provide for themselves financially.
They truly deserve it, and they do a lot of the grunt work here that goes underappreciated but is the base of the university. They really make this place run, so they deserve their fair share.
And as the COG members now leave Jessup Hall, they await until next Thursday, where they will have an open forum with the Board of Regents lawyers to see if they can get higher wages. From the University of Iowa, Johnny Valtman, DITV.
And we apologize for those technical difficulties, but the full story will be posted later on our YouTube page. Iowa City Police have identified 2 of 3 people found responsible for a recent crime. Ryan Meshman and Landon Provino have been named and are facing charges in willful injury and participating in a riot. The riot broke out at the Penn Mall last month that led to the charges. The third person is still unidentified, and police are still searching for the suspect.
The Iowa State Senate fills a seat as a bill takes a step forward in both chambers.
DITV's Ryan Lynch is live in the newsroom with the latest on the legislator.
Former Republican Senator Chris Crenoyer left her seat in the state Senate when she assumed the position of Lieutenant Governor. Senate District 35 held a special election to fill this vacant seat. Democrat Mike Zimmer defeated Republican Kate Whittington by an estimated 4% of votes. Zimmer's victory flips the seat and shifts the Senate to a 34 to 16 Republican majority. And a bill in the state Senate concerning Iowa schools has advanced. Senate File 8 passed the Senate Education Subcommittee on Thursday. The bill would outlaw punishment based on using the legal name of an individual rather than their preferred name. Currently, teachers could be legally fired if they use the preferred pronouns of a student, and a student can face disciplinary measures. And supporters of this bill view it as a way to support free speech, while opponents see it as a way that could potentially increase bullying in schools. And with all this news going on in Iowa politics, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
With a new presidential administration taking up the White House, new cabinet positions need to be filled. DITV Assistant News Director Jace Bertrand has updates on how Iowa lawmakers are getting involved on Capitol Hill.
As Senate confirmation hearings continue to light up Washington, several Iowa representatives are taking center stage. Long-term Senator Chuck Grassley served as part of the Senate Judiciary Committee during a nomination hearing of Kash Patel, who has been pushed forward as the potential FBI director. While the hearing centered around fears of political retribution, Grassley focused on honesty and trustworthiness.
You must be fair, you must be consistent, but you must be aggressive. Your actions must be based on accountability. Should you do so, you'll have my support.
Meanwhile, Senator Joni Ernst spoke to the Senate Intelligence Committee in favor of Tulsi Gabbard, who is the nominee for the Director of National Intelligence.
I trust Tulsi Gabbard. She will be honest with you. She will listen to your concerns. And rest assured, Lieutenant Colonel Gabbard loves this country.
While the votes have yet to be called, a majority of Republicans stand behind both nominees, while many Democrats are suspicious of their past statements. As the hearings continue, the Iowa senators may prove vital to the future of these confirmations. From Iowa City, Jace Bertrand, DITV.
An Army helicopter and passenger jet tragically collided mid-air Wednesday night. A jet and helicopter collided above the Potomac River by Reagan International Airport right outside of Washington, D.C. The helicopter had three soldiers on board, and the jet had 64 passengers on board. All passengers died in the crash, and 3 soldiers were conducting a training exercise while the plane was approaching the runway. Several athletes, coaches, and family members from the U.S. Figure Skating Championships were part of the victims. While speaking to reporters, President Trump commented on the lead up to the crash.
There are things that you could question, like the height of the helicopter and the height of the plane being at the same level and going in opposite directions. It's not a positive.
Bodies are still being recovered from the crash site in the Potomac River. Authorities are still investigating the cause of the crash. And the Iowa Supreme Court made some changes to the renting world. The court decided that landlords no longer need to give 30 days notice before eviction. This law was still in effect from the COVID pandemic and required landlords to give tenants 3 months of monetary grace before evicting them. Iowa is the first state in the United States to lift this ban, and the change is taking place immediately.
Doctors in Iowa City are researching autism post-COVID-19. The number of people being diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder has continued to increase over the past 20 years. Doctors and researchers in Iowa City are conducting studies on not only genetic factors involved with autism, but environmental elements as well. But despite 1 in 44 children in America being diagnosed with autism, a lot is still unknown about the disorder.
Well, an unfortunate part of autism is this uncertainty. There are just so many missing pieces to the puzzle where we just don't understand what's happening, leading to autism.
University of Iowa doctors and researchers are continuing their studies and are looking to possibly begin introducing their explorations nationwide.
Of the calendar year means we welcome in a new semester that brings in new Hawkeyes from all different backgrounds. DITV's Cole Krieger has the story on how the Iowa admissions team helps transfer students get adjusted.
The Iowa admissions team welcomes in over 1,500 transfer students every school year. Jennifer Timmons works to make sure that all transfer students are set up for success.
We also include them in the On Iowa activities. So we have different transfer sessions during On Iowa activities that they can participate in.
Jen and her team make sure that all transfer students are given the opportunity to learn their way around campus with various activities.
So we do scavenger hunts across campus. We go ride the CAM bus and do some of those types of activities.
Some of the newest Hawkeyes feel that the admissions team made it easy for them to adjust to their new home.
Super helpful. They would email me every week on stuff
that like deadlines that had to be done or stuff that like had to be done like before I could be entered into the University of Iowa.
I know the academic advisor has been helping me a lot with picking classes, and so she was very friendly with that.
Even though they are still settling in, these transfer students are looking forward to some of the opportunities that the university has to offer.
Iowa City has a lot of opportunities as well. I know as me as a health major, the opportunities for that is limitless here. And as a public university, you can't top that.
The admissions office hopes that the University of Iowa can continue being a welcoming new home for all of its transfer students. From the Pomerantz Center, I'm Cole Krieger for DITV News.
Students crowded the CAM bus fleet as the bus system became vital during the cold winter week of classes. DITV's Jake Rios has the story on how university students relied on CAM bus during the bitter cold.
University of Iowa students have become more reliant on campus and bus transit routes to get to and from classes over the winter.
As the temperatures dropped, so did space inside of the campuses, as many students found themselves trying to avoid the bitter cold.
I am a victim of falling, trying to go up the hills with ice, so if I can get on a CAM bus, I definitely will.
However, students would often become cramped as the bus is completely filled. Some students would even get kicked off if the bus reached its full capacity.
I've never been kicked off, but it is definitely packed and very smushed.
The rush to the buses has made it difficult for some students to make it to their classes on time. And for others, it's been a struggle to see the Iowa Hawkeyes in action.
Especially after basketball games, it is packed to the brim. Like, I think the Iowa State game, it was freezing that night and it was just packed full. You have to like muscle your way onto the bus.
While the traffic on the bus has been problematic, it could start to change soon as the weather starts to warm up.
The winter weather is starting to let up, making walking to class more bearable. From the University of Iowa, Jake Rios, DITV.
And coming up later, a delicious way to keep warm this winter season.
Also, the week ahead in weather and a look at Hawkeye sports.
All that and more right after the break. In Iowa City, history is being made every day. DITV is capturing it all. Politics, sports, and art. Local, state, and nationwide. In front of the camera, behind the scenes, DITV.
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 DITV Sports. DITV. DITV
is capturing history. Welcome back to DITV, or tuning in on KRUI 89.7 FM.
First, let's take a look back outside with Nick for the forecast for the week ahead.
Thanks, guys. Well, the clouds will remain overhead in Iowa City as the second month of the new year rolls around. The first day of February will be the warmest day of this 5-day outlook. Sunday will hit temperatures in the mid-50s with mostly cloudy skies in the late afternoon. Then begins the first full week of February. Monday will be overcast and will cool down to the upper 40s and high temperatures then fall into the 30s as the week goes on. Tuesdays and Wednesdays predicted highs will stay just to the north of freezing in the mid-30s. Clouds will break up in the late morning on Thursday with a high in the mid-30s. Despite a gloomy start to the month, clear skies are on the way later in the week. That is your extended forecast for the next few days in Iowa City. Back to you guys.
You know, Grace, I keep having this recurring dream where me and Caitlin Clark are playing basketball and she's just destroying me.
I want to definitely hear more about that, Jordan, but for now, let's send it to Colin Carruthers with more updates on Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I mean, I think the women's basketball team saw some of that dominance as well, as they're going to retire Caitlin Clark's jersey in the rafters of Carver Hawkeye Arena this Sunday when they host the 4th-ranked USC Trojans. Iowa's currently on a 2-game win streak after dropping 5 in a row, but they'll battle their first top 5 opponent this year, led by odds-on favorite to win the Wooden Award, Juju Watkins. With a big game and jersey retirement on the same afternoon, head coach J.M. Jensen had a simple message to keep her team focused.
What I've just told them is, what a moment. You get to be in this moment. We get to celebrate one of the greatest Hawks ever. But once the game goes up, right, all the pre-game stories, then it just becomes, us and them.
The Hawkeyes will look to snag the upset at home when the game tips off at 12:30. And Clark's jersey retirement is also impacting other areas of Iowa City. Ray Gunn has rebranded their store for the week as Forever 22, with new merchandise also being sold.
Was
kind of funny and just thought it would be like very out of left field and unexpected because we've never really done something like this here.
Or has seen an influx of visitors with the change.
I feel like people have found the Forever 22 as like a reason to come out and like check some stuff out, and we're always getting like shipments of new stuff every week, so there's always new stuff to look at.
Today at 10 a.m., so people may visit before the game and may be open to the possibility of other rebrands in the future. And although her college jersey is retired, Clark will rep her new colors at Carver Hawkeye Arena this May. Clark and the Indiana Fever will be playing in Carver Hawkeye Arena in a WNBA preseason game against the Brazilian national team. The #1 pick will suit up for Iowa City for the first time since graduating in 2024 and expected to sell out the arena, as she did for a majority of her career. The game will take place May 4th at 5 p.m. We also have the biggest matchup in men's wrestling all year long this evening. Coming off a top 5 win over Ohio State, the second-ranked Hawkeyes face first-ranked Penn State on the road. While the duel holds major ramifications, head coach Tom Brands will look to weigh where his team stands.
Wrestling the best team in the country, and it's a measuring stick. And there's individual matchups that have postseason seeding implications, and so you got to be ready.
Even with tonight's gravity in the wrestling world, Iowa Stars are making sure to treat it like any other day.
It's no biggie for me. Just another match at the end of the day. So go in there, do my job, get my hand raised. That's all I gotta do.
After Penn State, the team will also stay out east to face Maryland on Sunday. The #1 ranked women's wrestling team will be in Des Moines this weekend. The team will participate in the Grandview Open as their last outing before the NCWWC Regional 7 Championship. Wrestlers will compete individually in this tournament in their respective weight classes, and the event will welcome members of over 40 different schools. This season, Iowa has the #1 wrestler in 8 of 10 different weight classes. Some names to look out for are Kennedy Blades, Kylie Welker, and Brianna Gonzalez. And what a great time to be a part of the gymnastics program and Iowa Spirit Squad as they receive a massive upgrade. DITV's Joel Keller is live in the Rotunda. And Joel, what can you tell us about these programs' upgrades?
Well, Colin, it's certainly going to be a major move from the Fieldhouse for these programs. Their new facility is located across the street from the Iowa Hawkeye Tennis and Recreation Complex. This new facility for the two programs will feature a variety of equipment, including competition-style beams, vault runways, uneven bars, and a floor exercise space. It will also provide locker, meeting, and athletic training rooms, office space, and a multi-purpose room. The new facility was named the Nagel Duda Gymnastics and Spirit Squad Training Center after receiving a $5 million leadership gift from Mary Lee Nagel Duda. Mary Lee is a former University of Iowa cheerleader. Both her and her husband Fritz Duda will have a long history now of University of Iowa supporting including building a clubhouse and creating the Mary Lee Hawkeye Spirit Fund. The $20 million project is a major upgrade for a couple of programs that are on the rise. Back to you.
What a perfect time to get those facilities, as the team will be hitting the road this weekend against number 25 Nebraska. They're looking to bounce back from a loss last week to number 20 Minnesota. Meanwhile, the Cornhuskers are coming off a hot win against Maryland on Sunday. Saturday marks the 44th time the two teams will meet, with Nebraska holding a 32-11 all-time series lead. The last 2 times Nebraska and Iowa have met, Cornhuskers came away with victories. The movie will be available at Big Ten Plus at 7 p.m. A lot of great stuff to look forward to. Send it back to you guys at the desk.
And thank you for joining us online or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
We are here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. and online anytime at thedailyiowan.com. For Nick Isles and Ryan Lynch, I'm Grace Lathrop.
And for Joel Keller and Colin Carruthers, I'm Jordan Tovar. We'll see you again on Monday morning right here on DITV.